There are 6 Hebrew words in the Torah that seem so simple and so ordinary, but have impacted the life and soul of the Jewish people and how they conduct themselves in time than any other words in history. Let's learn these words and see the positive impact that they can have on all of our lives. Shalom, my name is Noach, and welcome to my Torah Thoughts channel, where I, as a rabbi and psychotherapist, delve into the areas of Judaism, mental health, and personal growth. So let's learn the 6 Hebrew words from the Torah that will make your day. Okay, let's get ready for the big reveal. Here we go. Ta-da! Vayihi erev, vayihi boker, yom echad. And there was evening, and there was morning, one day. When you read these words, do you think they are so groundbreaking? To the average reader, these words declare the end of the first day of the creation story. But a whole world of Jewish theology and its relationship to time is established through these 6 words, one that guides our everyday life, even today. So what did the Jewish tradition, amongst many things, I'm sure there's thousands and thousands of commentaries, and I'm sure each one of you, if you really thought about it, could find so much meaning in these words, so much impact. Because we say the Torah stories are Torah's chaim, their wisdom for living. So even the book of Genesis, the story of creation, is really meant to teach us something about life. So what do I want to share about what the Jewish tradition did with these words? Well, I want to take you on a tour through the Jewish mind and give you a sliver of a taste of how the Jew thinks and sees and analyzes the world. This type of thinking affects the way we do everything. Bear with me and stick with me as we learn some Jewish law, which may seem minor, but have a major impact on every single one of us. So let's take a look at our sources. I want to start in a place that you might think has nothing to do with the aforementioned topic that I just brought to you about Vayi erev boker yom echad, but telling you it really does. So there's a law in the book of Leviticus, Vayikra, the 3rd book of the Torah, that basically says, V'shor oseh, oso ve'espeno, an ox or a lamb and its offspring, lo sishchatu beyom echad. You're not allowed to slaughter them on one day. So we have an idea, I think, that for sure, at least in part, due to ethical and moral considerations, we're not going to slaughter an animal and its offspring on the same day. We're not going to get into the whole idea of animal sacrifices or killing animals for food. These are bigger considerations that require a lot more nuance, especially in Judaism and just in our general culture. But there's this idea that when we're doing these things, we have to have the sensitivity, probably for us more than anything, to not deal with the animal, to not slaughter the animal and the offspring on the same day, beyom echad. But what the rabbis are really picking up on when we get into this topic is, what is yom echad? What is one day? And bear with me here because it's going to be very practical in a moment. So ma yom echad? What is one day? We can't just accept this at face value that it just says, on the same day. So if it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, don't do it at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. No, this minor law in the book of Leviticus is an avalanche of thought about what is a day. What is yom echad? We have in our world that we understand today. So if I did it at 11:59 and 12:01, is that fine? So we have to kind of understand, what is the nature, what makes up a day in this world? And here the answer that we're going to find is where we see a beautiful blend in Judaism between narratives and stories and laws being integrated into each other in a fascinating way. So let's go to the oral law where they discuss all of these nuances and details of Jewish law in the Torah. What answer they come up with? So on the question, ma yom echad, this is what they say. Ha'amur b'maaseh Bereshis. It says in the creation story, hayom holech achar halayla. In the creation story, the day comes after the night. Af yom echad ha'amur be'oto ve'et beno. So they see that there's this idea that says yom echad in the creation story, but this is called the gezerah shava. You see a phrase in one place in the Torah and you interpolate from another place where it says yom echad, a day one. It says that in both stories, day one, yom echad. They say that it must be the case that because on the creation story, a day starts from evening to the morning, and there's a yom echad, here too, when there's the idea of one day, is evening to morning. So in Jewish time, and I don't think it's because of this law that we do this, but we're not going to get into the details here in Jewish law between whether the day starts at the sunset or when the three stars come out. We know for us, to be assured, we start Shabbat at sundown and end it when the three stars come out. But there's something called Bein Hashmashot, between times. We're not sure which day it belongs to. It kind of belongs to both. But we're going to just take concepts from that to apply it into our own lives. Really, a day in Judaism, which is a long way of me saying a day in Judaism, is evening and morning, and that's a day. So when you think that when you wake up in the morning that it's a new day, to a certain level, it is a new day. But a new day from a Jewish perspective is from evening. It starts in the evening. So how can this impact our lives? If you start to internalize and look at your day as beginning at night before you go to bed, then that means the things that you do that night are going to set the framework for how the quality of that day is going to go. So the goal of really what I'm saying is that we just, at least a little bit, start to remember that our days do start at night. 3 things that I personally do to start my day off right are: A, wind down. Although I struggle with implementing this all the time, so important to have a nice wind down, a transition from the busyness of the day before to start a new day with a bit of a wind down, a cool down, something more relaxing. I like to read. And from there, I can go to bed and get my next day going, knowing that I started the day very relaxed, very centered. 2, I really try to plan the next day with as much detail as possible, because I know, and I've seen this, in Cal Newport stuff around time management, the more that the day is planned, the more the things get done that you need to get done, because you don't get to the spot that you need to do for that moment of the day and be like, what do I do now? So planning the day, do that the day before. And 3, choose my bedtime. This is a big one that I'm working on. People that are connected to me know this. Trying to go to bed around 11:30. It's not so successful, but I'm working on it. Is knowing that I need to go to bed earlier and get more sleep because I wake up tired. That's because I started my day off wrong by going to bed late. So sleep routine, winding down, planning the day. These are a few things you can do when you start to think and internalize that my day starts the day before. Just so you know, there are parts of Jewish law where the day starts in the morning. We are big fans of starting the day off fresh, like the morning off fresh, but still there's this idea of the night starting the day, which has dominated our Jewish conception of time, all our holidays, and everything in between. So hope this was helpful for you. Please share, subscribe, like, do whatever you can to help me get the message out there that a day is the night before. All the best.